sorry, but I really have to just get this off my chest. Disney is not the only people who have done fairy tales where black people have been in them. So this whole entire mentality that you guys are spinning, that Disney is wokeifying fairy tales, has to stop. It has to stop. Hi guys, welcome back to Ella Pastoral. And if this is your first time ever coming upon this channel right here, typically I make commentary content. And as you guys saw by the title of today's video, I'm going to be talking about a long forgotten cartoon that I feel like no one talks about. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching. I considered this video to officially be a part 2 to the video I did like months back about why black people don't belong in fantasy. And in that video, I mentioned one of my favorite diverse shows that showed me that people who look like me belong in fairy tales, and this is what I want to base this video off of. And I'm just going to be reading from my script, that way I'm more like coherent, so I don't go on a tirade about how mad y'all are making me with this stupid discourse. But Disney has had a long history and has been known for reimagining classic fairy tales in their own way. With adding their own magic and spice to their stories, Disney has kind of been known to have a monopoly on this whole fairy tale reimagining that is going on in Hollywood. However, Disney and the Disney Corporation isn't the only organization that has been known for reimagining fairy tales, and especially reimagining fairy tales to have people of color in them, because y'all keep claiming that this is the new woke agenda. Let me just hop back into this, yo. Let me just hop back into the script, because this whole new woke agenda, like people of color and LGBT people are new inventions or something, takes me out every time. The company that I want to talk about that is known for having good representation that literally no one talks about when we're talking about these live action reboots that don't fit the original source material is HBO. HBO, before it was known for being scandalous, having Euphoria, Game of Thrones, and showing everybody what TVMA could really be, they used to make kid-friendly content. And one of these shows was Happily Ever After Fairy Tales for Every Child. That show is an American anthology animated TV show that showed that there is room for diverse perspectives and voices in storytelling. The show originally premiered March 12, 1995, and took traditional fairy tales and gave them a modern twist by incorporating diverse cultures and perspectives into these fairy tales. Each episode featured a different fairy tale, ranging from Hansel and Gretel to the Frog Prince. The stories were told from a point of view of characters of different races, cultures, ethnicity, and making it a truly inclusive show. The reason why Happily Ever After Fairy Tales for Every Child is so important is its commitment to diversity and representation in media. By showcasing characters of different races and cultures and ethnicities, the show helps to create a more inclusive world for children to grow up in. It is aimed to teach children about different cultures and promote diversity and inclusion. In doing so, it broke down barriers and stereotypes by portraying characters from different backgrounds in a positive light. The show's commitment to diversity also challenged traditional gender roles by portraying female characters as strong and capable, giving young girls role models to look up to. It is a bold move on HBO's part to tackle such important themes, but it really paid off. The show was a critical and commercial success, proving that audiences were hungry for more diverse perspectives in media. And I really had to bring this up because, God, every time Disney releases any type of announcement that they're going to be having a movie, and the movie doesn't have white people as the entire cast, the people on Twitter, they get together like the Ghetto Avengers, and they come together to start harassing people of color. And I'm so sick and tired of it, because I said it really well and very eloquently in my video, the part 1 that I told you guys about. But people of color exist, and they have existed. And I just feel like it is so outrageous, especially when it comes to fairy tales, things that we read to children, to teach them lessons and to help them gain morals and gain perspectives on life, that you, the bearded people on Twitter, and mostly be them, are just so appalled to see these stories with people of color in the leads. And it's not like Disney is making crazy changes to these stories. They're literally just having these stories where we're more people of color in them. And like I said in my fantasy video about why you guys feel like black people just shouldn't exist, we exist. Black people, Asians, Latinos, brown people, like, we exist in the real world. And I really feel like if you're really getting so mad that media that is made for kids, so kids can feel like they are people and they're seen is just so ridiculous. And at the same time, these Twitter warriors are arguing about how Disney is getting too woke, even though that's a black word that they're commodifying and stealing to push this narrative that black people don't exist. Right now in Florida, they're banning books written by black authors and POC authors about why it's okay to be a person of color. And what is just making me so mad about this entire situation is that these people who are saying that Disney is being too woke still don't know what that means to y'all, because what? And is being too inclusive, they're nowhere to be found when books that are actually written by black authors that feature black characters are literally being banned in America. It's really gotten to the point that in the year of our Lord 2023, they're banning books. They're banning books for children that are literally trying to teach children that it's okay to be people of color because it's pushing a woke agenda. Like this book right here by Lupita Nyong'o, one of my favorite black actresses of all time, is literally being banned in Florida. And literally in that book, I've read it myself, all it really is saying is that she struggled with being black when she grew up. She felt like no one liked her because she was dark-skinned. And eventually, through the work of her mom's encouragement and through her learning to love herself, she eventually learned that it's okay to be dark-skinned. And several books like this are being banned. These same people who are claiming wokecy, and they're also claiming that they want Disney to support black stories, are saying nothing about black stories that they're claiming that they want Disney to push are actively being banned. And I'm really scared because I know that it's technically only happening in Florida, but the fact that it's happening at all in America, and we claim to be a very civilized first world country, whatever that means, it's an icky look for me. And so the reason why I wanted to bring up this cartoon is to let people know that there are cartoons that we can watch that show us that it's okay to be Asian, that it's okay to be Latino, that it's okay to be black, African, whatever ethnicity that you are. Like, I want to always push out cartoons that have good representation of people. I'm sorry that I went on that little tirade, but I really feel like all of the things I said needed to be said, because right now diverse books and diverse media is actively being suppressed and no one's really talking about it, and I hate that. I hate that for everybody who's living in Florida, and I really feel like I want to promote shows and promote different pieces of media that show us that being a person of color is okay. But let's actually hop back into the topic that you guys clicked for, and that is talking about happily ever after fairy tales for every child. So before we dive deep into today's topic, I want to beg you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really supports me out, and I have a bunch of other videos on my YouTube channel for you guys to watch. So let's just hop right into today's topic. So I was only able to watch season 1 before I had to film this video, and so I wrote down like my favorite episodes from season 1. If you guys can't watch the whole season 1 for yourself, I'm gonna tell you the ones that you should watch. And the first one I have for you guys is Rumpelstiltskin. I'm definitely butchering that man's name, but the whole entire story of Rumpelstiltskin, a girl's father tells the king that she can turn straw into gold, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna be executed because I can't do that. So this demon practically is like, I can help you do that. And that happens like 2 times. And the last time, she doesn't have anything to trade to get this demon to help her. And he's like, how about you give me your firstborn child when you're married and this and that, and then you'll be able to get the gold straw thing that you want. And this was my first time ever being introduced to Rumpelstiltskin. I eventually saw him in Once Upon a Time, but they changed that Rumpelstiltskin so much. They even made him the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. But this Rumpelstiltskin literally haunts me in my dreams till this day. I had to rewatch the episode, and the evil cackles that this man emitted, it literally triggered a war flashback in me. It was so scary. Like, I don't know why they made him that scary, but he was horrifying. The next episode that I have to recommend for you guys is The Frog Prince, and that is episode 6 of season 1. And obviously, by the title, we can see that this is a Princess and the Frog type story. And the actual fairy tale name is called The Frog Prince. And I just find it so interesting that in this one, they make her black. And in the Disney version that came out years later, she was also black. I just find that really interesting. But in this version, the black princess, she's spoiled instead of the prince being spoiled. And in this version, the princess manages to stay a human the entire time. Just a little interesting tidbit that I wanted to mention. The next episode I have for you guys is episode 7, and it's Sleeping Beauty. I personally am in love with any Sleeping Beauty retellings, and this one was really good. The Sleeping Beauty in this story is called Rosita, and I think it has to do with some type of Latino culture. I couldn't really pin down which culture it was supposed to be involved in this story, but the music for this was hitting. Like the little song that the evil fairy sang about wanting to be invited, it was really good. I wish I could play you clips, but literally even on YouTube there's not even clips for real. So you just have to watch it yourself, but the music went crazy in here. The next one I have for you guys in season 1 is The Beauty and the Beast. This one was really good, and this one, instead of it's being Belle and she's a bookworm like in the original Disney one, this one has to do with a girl who's just known for her kindness, and she's willing to sacrifice herself for her dad. And in this story, she has a brother and she has a sister, and they're both spoiled. And I just found that really interesting. And in this Beauty and the Beast retelling, yo, I don't know what it is, but the Beast had what they call it on TikTok, W-Wiz. He literally was putting on the charm in this one. I was like, okay, Beast, because I always found it a little iffy for Beauty and the Beast, the Disney version, because I was like, how did she fall in love with him? But in this version, oh, he was putting down the moves for real. Like in this version, the Beast was so charming that he had Beauty in her room crying, talking about some, I miss him. I was like, dang, he got you like that? But I really love that episode. I feel like it was my favorite episode of season 1. And the last episode I have for you guys in season 1 is the Snow White retelling, where instead of it being Snow White, is White Snow. And this has to do with Native American culture. And I really feel like this is one of the best episodes of the whole entire series. I remember this episode out of all of them. Like, I forgot about the other ones that I listed before, but I definitely remember this reimagining of Snow White. Because, as you know, we don't have a lot of Native American representation, like, at all. And when I was watching this as a kid, I was like, Native American representation? I didn't know y'all could do that, okay? And I also remember this because the evil queen, she's not a queen in this one, she's just Snow White's stepmother. But her name was Sly Fox. I was like, okay guys, you should have known she was evil from the jump with a name like Sly Fox. Like, what are you guys talking about? And I just loved this episode so much. And this female lead, White Snow, was the kindest female lead we had in the entire season 1. And so yeah, if you're interested in more cartoons that are diverse, and if you also love reimaginings like how I love reimaginings, make sure you check it out. It's on HBO Plus. I searched everywhere else for it. Guys, it's not there. So if you want to watch this show, you gotta watch it on HBO. And so in conclusion, Happily Ever After, Fairy Tales for Every Child was a powerful and inspiring show that helped make the world a better place. Like, for me, it introduced me to so many cultures and so many different ethnicities that I wouldn't have known if I just watched Disney growing up. And while Disney has set the standard for remaking classic fairy tales, HBO's take on these stories prove that there is always room for new perspectives and for new innovative stories. And so if you guys like my video and my, I guess, deep dive into a forgotten cartoon, let me know. Let me know if you guys watched this show growing up and what your favorite episodes were. If you like this content, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up button and the bell, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one. Bye!